Hello, welcome to the vlog series. Before the video begins, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to get notifications as to when a new video will be posted onto this channel. Enjoy! So like I mentioned earlier, there is the Wright brothers plane, the very first plane to actually fly. All the other attempts were a complete fail. There's definitely a lot of kids here today, my goodness, a lot of school groups. That giant boomerang type thing is the 2015 Pran TLD wing. Can make turns without a tail. And the orange one over here, the black and orange one, that is the from 1928, the monocoupe, Billy monocoupe. Oh, that's cool. They got one of the Blue Angels right over there. It's gonna be part of the new exhibit that they're building. So now we're gonna head over to the air and space section of the Science Center. And this, my friends, is gonna be so cool. That's what they're building currently. And I mentioned earlier that the shuttle was already installed. So that's what it looked like before they enclosed it. So the shuttle is wrapped up like a Christmas package. And what was a little scary too was that there was a period where we had a lot of rain come down at one point, and I was afraid that, you know, it was gonna get damaged, but since it's all wrapped up, it should be okay. But yeah, that is so cool. All right, so we're gonna head inside this section of the Science Center. So that's what it's gonna look like in the future right there. The shuttle is gonna be in that section. You can see that from the freeway, by the way. I forget what was here originally, but this is just massive. There's the Blackbird that we saw earlier today. And there's the main Science Center. So technically where we are right now, if I'm not mistaken, we're like right over here on this side. So we're not too far from where they're constructing the new section of the center, which is gonna be a huge improvement. But yeah, this is the area where we used to see like the Apollo lunar modules and a couple other items here for space, but they have it all roped off and everything. So yeah, well, let's go ahead and check out what they've got so far. The work in progress. I don't know what's going to be used after this, but we'll see. Whoa, check it out. We've got a SpaceX capsule. SpaceX Dragon. That is so cool. It says that this Dragon's cargo spacecraft was the first to reach orbit 3 times and spent almost 99 days in space in order to support NASA's commercial supply services. The SpaceX Dragon represents the commercial sector's commitment to space exploration and collaboration with NASA. That is amazing. Look at that. That is amazing. Oh wow, look at this. This is a Rocket Lab Electron rocket. I don't know about you guys, but rockets kind of scare me a little bit because of how much fuel these things take. Good Lord. Says that it's a reusable small rocket used to deliver payloads to Earth orbit. So this is a scale model of how it's going to look once completed with the different exhibits and everything. Like where there are the planes, and right over there is the Endeavour. And it's going to be just so cool to see in person, like when it's done. Here's our rocket engine here. That thing is gigantic. Now this used to be a part of the exhibit for Endeavour. But yeah, this is just huge. So they moved the different capsules over here into this small section of the exhibit here, so that way they can have them on display while they're refurbishing and constructing the new section of the center. So that is the Mercury capsule right over there, the Redstone capsule, Redstone 2 actually. Then we have the Gemini 11 space capsule. Just look how crammed those things are. Look, that's 2 passenger, That's one right over there. And then you have the Apollo, the command module right here, which has three spots. This is just incredible. Just the size difference. Look how tiny Mercury is over there. Then Gemini, and then Apollo. It's crazy to think that we'll be sending people back to the moon here at some point in the future, but wow. And of course, the movie that comes to mind when I see this is Apollo 13. That is amazing. And this is a model of the Mars Viking lander that was sent to Mars. Again, a replica. The actual one is there. It's a full-scale prototype. In fact, here's a picture of it on Mars right now. Well, I mean, from years ago, I mean. It was launched on August 20th, 1975. Oh, there were two of them. So, August 20th and then September 9th. And then we've sent all the rovers up there, including the one that's like the size of a Mini Cooper, the Curiosity. I think I mentioned this before on my vlogs, but my dad has a personal history with the Mars program for Curiosity because he was the one that wrote the code that is being used on the Curiosity rover. So anything that you see from Mars currently, whether it's photographs or video, I don't know if it's video, but definitely photos and any information that is getting sent from Earth into space to Mars and back, they're using his code, which is incredible. And it was a real nail biter too, because this thing was massive. Okay, I got to see this thing in person, and it's the size of a Mini Cooper. And the way it landed was, it hadn't been done before. Usually what they would do is they will encase the rover in a special capsule that would, once it gets closer to the surface of Mars, it would expand. Like, it would actually pop out these, I wouldn't say, like, it's almost like an airbag type thing, and it would bounce around on Mars. But this one in particular, since it was so big, they had to literally lower it with cables via a helicopter system. So they built these special rudders and, like, not rudders, propellers, I mean. And once it was at a certain point in the atmosphere, they would send a code, a command basically, to say, hey, it's time to lower the rover. And via simulation, we were able to see it land on Mars. And again, a real nail biter, because we're talking tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment and information. And it was on my mom's birthday when that thing landed too, so if it had crashed, it would have been a really bad birthday. But everything went smoothly, so we were thankful for that. But yeah, when we saw those first images coming in from Curiosity, we were basically a mission accomplished right there. So, whew, but wow, what a legacy my dad has with the Mars rover, especially with Curiosity. So we saw this outside, but this is the shuttle gallery that is going to feature the Endeavour and a bunch of, like, Endeavour and Space Shuttle related items. Like, you have the inside of what the cockpit looks like. It's like a replica, basically, because the real cockpit is going to be right there. And then you have a timeline of all the different space explorations via the shuttle. Of course, the different disasters that happen, unfortunately. And there's apparently a slide, so this could be an attraction with the Endeavour, which is crazy. Then they're going to also have on display those tires that we would see over here that you can touch. And yeah, this is going to be just a gigantic building. Look at this. You get to go to the very top of this thing and look down and see the shuttle from up there. That is just, oof. If anybody is, like, afraid of heights or really those glass floors, yeah, that's going to be insane. That's going to be some thick glass up there, but oof. My goodness, are you gonna have to sign a waiver for that? I don't know. Got more of the space gallery up here. I'm just amazed. Like, this is just amazing. I wish they put in this much more detail into the different, like, exhibits here, but wow, this is just incredible. Like, this stuff down here looks like something from out of Star Trek. Oh, look, there's the SpaceX Dragon. That's right there. That's gonna be in the exhibit too. That's cool. And yeah, still, this is just, oh my gosh. It's just incredible. They're the modules there. That's the Apollo the Mercury and Gemini right there. Oh no, that's Gemini, and this is Mercury because it's different. Yeah. Oh, look, you even get a photo with the the car, the go-kart, the Lunar Mobile. I forget what it's called, but yeah, that's so cool. And it looks like they'll have like different exhibits featuring stuff from Mars too. Like, look at this. They'll even have like Sojourner up there. They might even have Curiosity on display. You never know. That'd be kind of cool. Sojourner and the other two twin ones, Spirit Opportunity. Wow, that would be so cool. Oh wow, that's gonna love that when that opens up. And then you have the Aviation Gallery. Wow. This reminded me of the Batcopter a little bit because it looks like it's a similar design. Looks like there'll even be a simulator right there. Wow. That is incredible. So technically we can't really see it, even if we wanted to try to see what was going on. They have it all walled off, but look at this. They still have a few of the satellites that are on display, like this one up here. We have the Pioneer 10, that's this big thing, and then the what looks like a D20 right there. It's actually Vela 5. I was saying Velva 5. There's Sputnik right over there, and then way off in the actually it's this one here. This is the Uhura. Kind of sounds like something from Star Trek. And unfortunately, I cannot remember what these were. I'm pretty sure I can find it in one of my previous videos, but the little nameplates for these are on the other side where this wall is. So let's see if I can spot any others. Oh yeah, there's some other satellites right there. By the way, these are replicas. These aren't the actual satellites because they were launched into space decades ago. So yeah, especially Sputnik right there, the Russian satellite, the first artificial satellite sent into space that actually worked. So we saw the Mercury module. This is the Mercury test and training suit. Has a very interesting look, almost like the Fantastic Four suit, except for without the blue. But yeah, there it is. 1960. Wow. And then the more traditional Apollo command module suit, kind of like the one you see on Apollo 13. Weighs 185 pounds and 21 layers. Sheesh. Imagine trying to cosplay something like this. That's a lot of layers. Good grief. This is from Apollo 16. Thomas Mattingly, module pilot. And a 1/5 scale of the Hubble Space Telescope right there. That is amazing. And this monstrosity right here. Oh, actually, over there is a 1/5 scale of the infrared astronomical satellite. And then this one, the nameplate is, it's the Juno spacecraft. A 1/4 scale model of the Juno spacecraft. Launched on July 4th, 2016. And it's a spacecraft that was sent to Jupiter, still orbiting the planet apparently, on loan from the Jet Propulsion Laboratory. Wow. And then this one's a 1/5 scale of the Chandra Space Telescope. That's cool. Here we have a stony meteorite from Chile, an iron meteorite from Namibia. Looks like a part of or a flattened version of the Allspark because of all the different patterns on there. Wow, look at that. I didn't see this, but on the back side we have more of the Apollo uniform here. That's the helmet. Got the two different pairs of gloves. That's Mattingly's gloves that he used. Wow, look at how thick those things are. Good Lord. Of course, when they did the moonwalking, that's literally what they do because there's no oxygen or air on the moon. There's the pack that he had on. Wow. These are the Mercury gloves right over here. And then look at the size difference from the Apollo to this one. This is the Mercury helmet right there. Wow, just oof. It's a tight squeeze. Here we have more meteorites. This is a stony meteorite from South Carolina. Here's another stony meteorite from New Mexico. And this one is actually from Mexico right here. This is another stony meteorite. Basically anything that enters the atmosphere that burns up upon entry. Yeah, a lot of space junk. Well, I'm going to grab myself some lunch, and then afterwards I'm going to head over to the ecosystem section of the center, and then maybe call it a day and head over to the Natural History Museum. That is pretty cool. That's one of the Blue Angels right there. This is going to be on exhibit for the Samuel Ocean Air and Space Center, currently under construction. But this will be on display, but to have it right here, it's pretty cool. And then there's another jet right over there that'll also be used. And it looks like a piece of a plane wing right there too. Wow. But yeah, I remember the fuel tank was actually on the other side right over there. But it doesn't look like... Oh, there's the other fighter right there. But yeah, wow, that's cool. I've never seen a Blue Angel before, so that's pretty cool to see. I've seen them always on like YouTube or television, so that is neat. That is really, really cool.